Okay, so I'm just going to quickly walk through the installation of Jerboa. So I'm going to begin with the zip that's downloaded. Actually, I'm going to just extract this to the desktop. And within this folder, there's a README file. This README has some installation instructions, so I'll go ahead and open that just so I can refer to it. And some examples, which I will go through in a moment or in another video. User objects, some copyright information, as well as the manual and documentation for the latest version of Jerboa, which is v1.0. So I'll go ahead and open that as well. So we have this open, and there are also install instructions here in the install guide, which I will also be using. So first things first, we need to download 2 instances of Energy Plus. We need v 9.6.0 and 9 v.3.0. The reason for that is fairly uninteresting. Essentially, we need a file that's in v 9.3.0 that has not been running the sort of ground temperature auxiliary programs in the later versions. So we're gonna steal a file from 9.3.0 that does actually work. So I'm just gonna visit, click on these 2. Oh, actually, I'm going to, actually, that's fine. It'll download there. That's fine. So those are downloading. We go to downloads here. There's a funny thing in a virtual machine where Edge doesn't show this panel. I don't know why. So we have our 2, let me go to date modified here. We have our 2 versions of Energy Plus, and we're just gonna, these are executable files, so I'm just gonna double click and go through the installation of these. So take a moment. It's important that these instances of Energy Plus are installed on your C drive. That is usually where they will install. So you don't have to do anything special, but it's important that they are on your C drive. Okay, so Energy Plus and the 2 instances of Energy Plus have installed. I'm just going to verify that by going to the local disk C drive, and right on at the front in our C drive are our 2 versions of Energy Plus, which is exactly what we're looking for. So the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and boot up Rhino. We're going to need Rhino so that we can copy our user objects into the user objects folder of Rhino. So I'm going to go to File, Special Folders, Components folder. Excuse me, not Components folder, User Object folder. I've already copied, I just installed Ladybug here. That's also something that you may want to do, is install Ladybug and Honeybee along with Dragonfly, because this Jerboa will play very nicely with this tool set. So I'm going to go back over to my folder that has my user objects. I'm actually going to copy this whole folder. Just keeps things a little bit cleaner in our user objects file. And sometimes we don't need to reboot, sometimes we do. I'm going to reboot Rhino now. So I'm going to close all this stuff. Oops, cancel. I want to stay in my, yep. stay in my virtual machine. So I'm gonna reopen Rhino again after the reboot. Go ahead and go into Grasshopper. Close, and now we have our Jerboa tab here. And populated quite nicely are our tool sets. So we have our build tool set, our Kiva tool set, which these are a little bit out of order. I think I'm gonna re-export this stuff at some point and make sure that these are in a neater order. We have our Kiva objects here, our material objects for both basement and slab. We have our run objects, and then we have our utility. The one thing that I am going to use right now that's part of the installation is this basement.exe exchange component. I'm just going to drop that on the canvas. And you can see it's not that happy. That's okay. Basically, we're going to plug in a Boolean. I'm going to get a panel on the other side here and plug that in. And I'm just going to turn this to plus. And what this is going to do is copy the basement.exe that we wanted from the Energy Plus version 9.3.0 into the correct folder of the Energy Plus version 9.6.0. And with that, we should be good to start running both the basement and the slab programs.